If you know me, then you probably know that I don't really know Doja Cat. Like I don't really understand what she is and what she does. So this is going to be not much of an analysis. This is going to be an appreciation. You see, V by Doja Cat by Doja Cat is just one of the most fun things I've heard all year. I really enjoy it. I could listen to it like over and over and over again. It's a really effective means of like adopting a lot of the soundscapes of 80s pop and even some of the more elevated 80s pop and sort of putting it all together with some good lyrics and some good rap verses and interesting themes. And at times it reminds me of Madonna, at times it reminds me of Prince, at times it reminds me of Paula Abdul. Okay, it's just kind of all over the place, but it is just a true joy to listen to. And as I'm getting ready for this new Taylor Swift album, I don't know what it's going to be like, but I wonder if it might not end up being a better album, but I wonder if it'll be as much fun to listen to. So that's my issue. Like, I like the music, but I still don't understand, like, who is Doja Cat? Well, where is she from? What is she? Is she a rapper like first and a singer second, or a singer first and a rapper second? Is she from America? I don't know where she's from. I haven't even looked it up. Is she like famous for being pretty or not famous for being pretty? Is her sexuality based on the music? It seems like it might be kind of in question and play, but also kind of not. I got two squirrels fighting over there. The kittens are fighting. Isn't that what Doja Cat fans call themselves? You know, I don't know what all these things are. I don't know what the answers are. And in my review of her last album, Scarlet, which I liked more than most people, I had a lot of fun talking to my daughter because she's a big Doja Cat fan. And I basically asked her all these questions, and she basically just sort of said yes. You know, she's like all of these things kind of all at once. And I think maybe her greatest superpower is her ability to not be boxed in. And this album is a good example of that. Plus, she's super defiant, and not only does she do the thing that so many people do now of using France as some kind of indicator of luxury, the woman actually learned French. She did. Thank you for auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor who is, tomorrow, for his class, French 111. I'm going to show a picture of Doja Cat, and I'm going to talk about the two songs that have French in here. I think it's great. We have to resist English, linguistic hegemony. If you are born with the ability to speak English, you have been given a privilege that you did not earn. Much like many other privileges that people do not earn, you are not cognizant of the unfair advantage you were given at birth by the ability to grow up in a space that speaks that land. So her dedication to French, the way that she uses it, it's great. Except, listen, I'm teaching about articles right now, Doja. You can't, French words need articles. It can't just be vie, which means life. It has to be la. If you're trying to say like life, the idea of life, it has to be la vie. You see, because a definite article, which is la, can indicate a specific thing, or it can indicate sort of a whole category of things. So like if I say like, I like coffee, it's, j'aime le café. That means like all coffee in general. Whereas if I'm talking about something, so anyways. Or it could be une vie, which would mean one life, so that could be it, or des vies, which could be plural, and then it could be some lives, or de la vie, or about life. But maybe that's on purpose. You know what? I'm going to give you the credit to say that you intentionally didn't give it an article so that we can read it in all sorts of different ways. In my office, you may know, I have a Last Jedi poster in French, and what's funny is in English, we don't know if the Last Jedi refers to just one Jedi or to many. But in the French translation, it's Les Derniers Jedi, which indicates by its article and its plurality that it's actually plural. Anyways, I'm sure Doja and I would have a nice time talking. Is that her real name? Doja means like weed, right? What's her real name? I don't know anything about her. But I do know that she got Jack Antonoff. Listen, Jack Antonoff has been off of my radar for a little while. Is he the Sabrina Carpenter guy? Is that the deal? Has he just gone over? I don't know what it is about Sabrina Carpenter. I'm just not interested. I don't hate. I don't love. There's just something about Sabrina Carpenter that just, it's like, this is a ring toss game. I I hear her song, and then someone says, "Did you hear that song?" And I felt like her. I didn't even hear it, so I don't know. I don't know if that's what Antonov has been up to, but I'll tell you this: this is a great project, and it's very clear that he is listening to the artist he's working with, and that she told him, "I want to make an '80s album. I want to make an album that reminds you of Janet Jackson, with little shades of modern stuff, kind of Billie Eilish in its kind of raspiness, and even Paula Abdul." Which, listen, I've spent a lot of my life thinking that Paula Abdul is lame. Except for that one video. It's that one video in black and white. Whew, had a very strong effect on a pre-adolescent Professor Skye. But actually thinking about it, Paula Abdul had some pretty good songs. And what's most interesting to me is that pairing this soundscape with her style of having a sung verse with like a rap verse inside basically makes this music a different kind of throwback. In my day, when I was growing up in the Pepperidge Farm Remembers kind of time, it was a very common / trite cliche that like late 80s, early 90s pop stars were going to have a song and there's going to be some kind of hilariously anonymous rapper. I'm thinking of My Name is Prince by Prince, Opposites Attract with Paula Abdul. No insult to MC Scat Cat, Black or White by Michael Jackson. I could just go on. Those are the ones that literally came off the top of my head. But like, it was such a thing that just would happen. You'd have a pop song and someone would sing and someone would come in and do kind of a forgettable verse. But Doja Cat does it all. She writes the verses and then she sings the theme tune. She writes the theme tune and then she comes in and she raps the theme tune. She does all of these things kind of all at once. She's like all in one. If Prince didn't have to outsource his rapping to whoever it was that rapped, it's an okay verse. It's not worthy of Prince. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, she does it all, and that's another reason why she's so enjoyable, because you get 2 songs in one. Every song is 2 songs in one. It's a always competent, sometimes brilliant rap verse with a always great and sometimes extraordinary sung bit. It's all together. It's the whole, what is Doja Cat? Is she this? Is she that? I don't know. Is she French? Is that it? Do I have it wrong? Is it that she's learning English and she's actually French? The way she pronounces a couple words. Don't think so. So I'm going to go through the album kind of quickly, because again, this is not like, I'm not going to do a whole like breakdown, like who she's singing about and how she's representing love and all that. Let's just go with the song Cards with this great jazzy saxophone. Ironic saxophone is a great thing because I grew up in Bruce Springsteen's 80s, and I dislike highly the way Clarence Clemens was used in Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. All that kind of stuff. So I've grown up really disliking saxophones. But in the 80s in pop, sometimes it'd be used in a way that at the time when you were there and you were listening to it, like, this is just cheesy, this is just lame, I don't like this. But then over time, it's taken on a sort of patina, kind of a vintage charm to it, where you're like, oh, I remember when people used to do like saxophone solos like that. It's that kind of saxophone solo. And that's just the opening, and it breaks into this super funky 80s style R&B. Again, sort of a Billie Eilish style breathy delivery here. A lot of her stuff is just too breathy for me to even understand. I do like how in the rap verse, she does an inversion of the traditional patriarchal nature of female rappers, which I talk about quite a bit, which has been going, by the way, hey, feminists who like rap music, pay attention. It's going away. It's going away. It's slowly fading. The trope of female rappers saying, my boobs are so big, you're going to buy me a boat. My butt is so big, you're going to buy me a car. My head game's so tight, you're going to take me to Rome. How am I going to land this rhyme? I'm not going to land the rhyme. I was going to go into the WAP territory, but we'll just stop there. That patriarchal tendency of describing how you are so sexy / so good at sex that men will buy you stuff has been, in my opinion, the greatest detriment of feminism in rap music, because it's such a terrible and common trope, and it's like, These are like really powerful, strong women. And when they talk about men, it's about how they're going to make themselves subservient for essentially a transactional slash semi-prostitutional relationship. So this is the inversion of that. Like I'll figure out and I'll splurge. I'll splurge and buy you a yacht to figure out if you can earn a permanent spot. So nice inversion. I like that. This is so maximal, and then it ends with like a different thing. So I keep doing my hair. I'm trying a new hair product. It's a little bit less like invasive, but it means my hair gets all floppy doppy and falls down there, and I feel like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. Okay. So you just tell me in the comments if you tell me whenever it goes Spider-Man 3. Man, I didn't think this would be a good video. This is a good video so far. Smash the like button, subscribe, AVAA stands for awesome videos always. Listen, I've had to, for my own mental health and for the health of my family, reduce the amount that I read the comments and check my metrics. So I only do it once a day, but I will try to heart everyone who says AVAA. Next song is called Jealous Type, a little more Janet Jackson-y, a little bit more kind of like attacking in its style. A quick rap before the first hook, and it ends really unexpectedly. Ah, men. Okay. I heard this song. Oh, you hear that sound? That's the sound of my neighbor's dog who bit my dog on the asshole, and I had to take my dog to the vet. Pay $180. I do not like that dog. I don't. And now it's ruining my video. So Ah Men is a song that's based on a sample. Now, if you're a rap fan, you'd recognize this sample from Busta Rhymes, who took it for, what was that song called? I forget what it was, but it's and then like Busta used his amazing rat-a-tat rap style to go over it. God damn, Busta Rhymes rules. But it's actually a sample of the Knight Rider theme song. Knight Rider was a TV show that was on when I was a kid, and I never liked it. It's a talking car, but like 0.001% of the show was about a talking car. The rest of it was like Michael Hasselhoff going into like going into factories and like shooting at people on balustrades, you know? Did the man just use the word balustrade in casual conversation? I did. That's why you're watching a professor. Mr. Beast cannot pull out the word balustrade just like that, okay? That's where all my education comes from. And I love how Prince-like her singing is, but it's like because she's a woman, her natural register is already higher, so she isn't straining as much. And these blaring horns at the end of the phrase, and this really sassy, bizarre... Hey, can I just say, I don't know Doja Cat at all. I've never watched an interview with her, any of that stuff. But I feel like we could be friends because she made a Keira Knightley reference. And it's always driven me crazy. I remember when Keira Knightley was so popular and everyone was saying she was so sexy. And I said, yeah, but she's got crusty teeth. Because I used to have a cat that had really bad teeth. His name was Krusty the cat. And like his teeth were all like this way. And I was like, and no shame on anybody who has, I mean, she's still beautiful. But it was this weird thing where people like, where it felt like no one was talking about this like physical attribute. It was the way that she was talked about as being like some kind of weird perfection. That's what it was. Because a lot of very attractive women have teeth and attractive men have teeth that don't look great, right? But it's like, it's usually a question of class, by the way. So, or geography. But like, it just felt weird. It's like, here's this porcelain goddess of perfection. Anyway, so I appreciate that kind of funny lyric. And then she makes a Leroy Jenkins reference. If you don't know, Leroy Jenkins was, I mean, what is going on? Is Doja Cat, how online is Doja Cat to know Leroy Jenkins? Leroy Jenkins is an unfortunately racist meme from the internet from like 15 years ago. So the whole idea was like people were playing a game called World of Warcraft, and they were trying to make their plans of how they were going to go in and attack a bunch of people, and they had all these plans, and they had a whole strategy, and this one guy, just instead of listening to the plans, just runs right in, and when he goes in, they all have to follow him, and they all just get completely killed, and as he runs in, he screams, Leroy Jenkins. But then I watched the original clip, and Leroy Jenkins itself is sort of a 70s-style stereotyped black name. All of the names of everyone else in that whole squad, or whatever the hell they call themselves, were similarly named. So unfortunately, Leroy Jenkins canceled by Professor Skye right here, October 2nd, 2025. Leroy Jenkins is canceled. But don't worry, you reached the pinnacle of your existence, Leroy Jenkins, because it's right here in this verse. And speaking, hey, God, are you feeling this, Doja? Are we best friends? You're ugly and fine as shit. What a great lyric. What a great lyric. You've known people who are ugly and fine as shit. Where are their songs? Okay? Where are the songs for the people who are ugly but fine as shit? Sure, they might end up like getting married to famous people, right? But, awesome. Couples therapy, super breathy, wonderful way where this bit kind of, the voice opens up with these dulcimer sounds. Then we get to Gorgeous, co-produced by Soundwave. This is probably the best song on the album, the most realized, almost like vaporwave-like with these underwater bass drum sounds. And it's awesome having Antonoff and Soundwave working together because we know they're working together because of 616 in LA. The Kendrick thing, we know that. I think that's how they got linked up. And just these great heavy-handed 80s style orchestra hits. And just really confusing ideology here, which is what it is. It's this whole lyric. These lyrics, this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Doja, what are you doing to me? This is great. This is awesome stuff. Because she's explaining, I believe the words that I saw in an interview was, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, if you are beautiful naturally, the only way to not be criticized by... Man, too much stuff going on. Too much stuff going on out here. If you are, the only way to not be criticized by the media and by people on the internet is to be absolutely gorgeous, completely naturally, without effort. If you are not born as gorgeous as can be, you are mocked. If you have surgery to be as beautiful as people want you to be, you are mocked. If you try too hard, you are mocked. Okay? It's a terrible, horrible patriarchal mess that there's here, and she's able to sing about it, and it's great. It's really well, all the complexity is all in there, and I feel bad about my whole Keira Knightley thing. I feel like I was being super patriarchal there. I think I landed my point. It's that I didn't understand how it felt like she was getting a pass when other people didn't get the pass. Like she was getting treated as perfection. That's what it was. But I don't know. The squirrels are still fighting. Dogs are barking. I'm digging my own grave. There's some child across the way there who's going, ah. Happy Halloween, everybody. Stranger, a Boots and Cats drum line with a continuation of the cheesy saxophone from the last song. Oh, it's great. These great chord modulations underneath the breathy singing. Very kind of Prince-like singing. She talks about like kissing in the mirror, sort of like a homoerotic kissing of the mirror. Have you ever kissed yourself in the mirror? It's very homoerotic, you know? And this whole great citation, this whole great verse about like this guy who she's into come over and watch some White Lotus, and after maybe we could rearrange the sofa. That's awesome, you know? Like what a real love story, you know? Watching White Lotus and having sex. That's a very real life thing here. Girls can't tell he's fine off rip because he don't look like he liked dick, but if he liked it, I'd still like him. A very progressive, modern style song about bisexuality and being okay with it. All mine, more 80s style drum beat here. Sampling of Grace. Wait, is my computer slowing down? My computer's slowing down. 1 second here. I gotta move to where it's less. Grace Jones on here, which is awesome because you know she's like this great figure of patriarchal fear. You know, because she represents this sort of she represents sort of like a. Okay, so if you don't know her, she was like an action star and a singer from the 1980s who was very famous for just being very tall, very strong, very black. And there was kind of like this fever about how great she was and how cool she was, while at the same time she was able to evoke a real sort of sense of fear in people. So that's why it's awesome having Grace Jones on here. It's sort of, gotta close this door. Hey Toby, what's up? You like Doja Cat? No, you don't like Doja Cat. You know why? Because you're a dog. So, anyways, almost Donna Summer in a way, and then it was funny because I was annoyed because I knew there was going to be a uh, a rap verse, and I actually wrote in my comments that I was dreading the rap verse. You know, I was like, I don't want to hear it. And then it's like the best and the funniest rap verse in the entire album. You want to mix? Jump in, let me assist. Best believe he'll be cracking it before GTA 6. All these super internet references, you know? It's like, how internet can you possibly get that talks about GTA 6 coming out? True story, I've never played a single minute of GTA. Not once. He ain't hungry for money. I told him, come eat the rich, pick me up at the Panther and drop me off at the Ritz. Carlton, how they follow him. I'm fresh with my Prince. So he's like doing like Carlton is a character from Fresh Prince. And then like also like Ritz Carlton is the hotel. Like great chained together rhymes. Super fun. You know, bananas for my clip. He want me and I want him. Like bananas for my clip. Like that's like referring to like, you know, banana clips are things that people have for like guns, you know, like AK-47s and stuff. And she, hey, by the way, it's moving now, right? I actually brought the computer in and put it on top of, on top of the air vent that's blowing out cold air. So like bananas for my clip, you know, like bananas like, you know, like dongs for my clip, like, you know, yeah, it's good. It's clever. Take Me Dancing featuring SZA. I don't like this song. I don't know what to tell you. I like SZA. You know, I went and saw SZA with Kendrick. I think she's great. I think maybe there's just not enough. There's just not enough like variance between the two. Sorry, Toby. You are now the star of this video, by the way, whether you like it or not. Do you like it? Lip Stain is one of my favorite songs on here. Daft Punk style synth runs. Kind of reminds me of the song Game of Love off of Random Access Memories. Very breathy chorus, kind of chukka sounds. And the inherent eroticism of the French language, I think, comes out really nicely in the way that it's mixed together with English. I said, tu es ma vie et mon tout, et tout le monde le sait. So here she is talking about the title, like, you are my life, you are my everything, and everybody knows it. So, you know, maybe it should have been ma vie instead of vie. That would have been my life. They don't want to see me with you. Some pray that we split. Laisse-moi embrasser ton cou. Now, what's fun here is that she says cou, which means kiss you on the neck, right? But if she said embrasser ton cul, then it would have been let me kiss your ass. So that's the fun thing about French. The difference between ass and neck is cou and cul. I'm your woman, or as-tu oublié. More great French. In the rap verse, she says that she has a certain je ne sais quoi. You know, lots of great stuff here. I smell like ice cream and pheromones. It's great. You know, she has like a really great sense of humor and a really funny, engaging way of expressing it. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to say like she's weird and I like her, but like she's weird and I like her. Silly, fun, more kind of a tight 80s vibe, a little more conversational tone. I know it could be a blast just to pop out a baby. Acts of service, more 90s style, but here we have some trap style drums. And I got to say, I don't like it. I don't like it, everybody. I don't like the trap style drums on this album. I kind of want it to be just like all 80s. I don't want anything 2020, but that's okay. But it asks like the key question. Does a key to your flat mean girlfriend? Speaking of Taylor Swift, she's like, I got a British boyfriend. I got a British boyfriend. You know, because she says flat. It's a true story. I went to Scotland when I was like 15 years old with my family. Went to the Isle of Skye. And we were driving around Glasgow. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of public restrooms out here. Because the word for to rent in like available for rent in English in England, you know, in Scotland, is to let. So I thought it was all just the word toilet with the I missing. So people are trying to let out their flats, and I thought they had a toilet. Making up more trap beats, don't like this song. One More Time is not a Daft Punk cover. But it's the kind of song with this like cheesy electric guitar that, much like the cheesy saxophone, calls back to the times of cheesy, fun 80s music that you didn't like at the time because you were trying to be too cool. But now with some time, you can look back at it and say, you know what, this is actually kind of pretty cool. This is the kind of music for you, like being in your living room and hopping up and down and just getting, you know, hopping on the 1 and the 3s, you know, and you're just excited and I gotta make you mine. It's great. Then we get to the song Happy. It's a Pharrell cover. It's a Rolling Stones cover. It's not a cover of anything, all right? Great drum machine pattern with the wood block and the cowbell. Oh, you want to get on this too, Bo? You want to get in on this too? Yeah, did you know I got 2 dogs? Here we go. What's up, Bo? I know you look just like the other one, don't you? More French here. Now, this is really cool for me as a French professor because she's actually playing a lot of very difficult pronunciation things. Because, so brise, that's fine. Mon, that's fine. Cœur, encore, ce soir. So like the O sounds, cœur, encore, ce soir. Like cœur, corps, soir. Like they're different O sounds. It's great. And she pronounces it super well. Come back. So like the last 4 songs were not by Antonov, but we end here with Antonov with the song. It's probably the catchiest melody on there. It's all about making peace with an ex-lover. My God, this is really, really Taylor Swift coded in a lot of ways, you know? If I were to tell you, Jack Ant, your breath is rank. Your breath smells worse than Cardi B says Nicki Minaj's breath smells. Yeah. I don't know why they're so obsessed with each other's breath smelling bad. I don't like it. I don't like it when female pop stars fight. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it on the channel. I'm team feminism. Yeah. Who's a good boy? Anyways, if you told me there was a Jack Antonoff song about someone coming to terms with an ex-lover and it was super catchy, I would assume you were going to be talking about Taylor Swift, not Doja Cat. But that's just the joy and the confusion of Doja Cat. So if you enjoyed this video, please like the button. If you like the dogs, please like the button. Just whatever you do, like the button. Until next time, this was Professor Skye in one of his weirdest videos ever. There's the camera.